Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss the biology part of NEET 2025 and our set code is 45. Okay, so check your answer according to the question which is given below because every set has a different, like the sequence of the question is changed. So today we are discussing set number 45 or the paper code 45. Let's start with the first question. Okay, the first question is asking us about the electron transport chain which happens in mitochondria. Let's read the question, then we'll answer. The complex 2 of mitochondria electron transport chain is known as. You all know that the complex number 2 is called as what? Succinic dehydrogenase complex. So over here, the answer is quite simple, very easy, direct question. That is succinic dehydrogenase complex. Next, we move on to the next question, which is your polymerase chain reaction. Polymerase chain reaction is a reaction in which we are, increasing, amplifying the amount of DNA, or we are amplifying the DNA content. Like the formula goes out to be 2 raised to the power n. So we are actually, amplifying the DNA in a very high amount. So the formula, direct formula for this polymerase chain reaction is 2 raised to the power n. So over here, the answer will be 2. Next, we go on to the IVF method. This question is from the reproductive health. Let's read the options. What are the potential drawbacks in the adoption of the IVF method? IVF is in vitro fertilization, test tube baby program. First thing, high fatality risk to the mother. There is no fatality risk to the mother as such. Okay, so first option is the wrong one. Next, expensive instruments and reagents. Yes, that's the right one. Over here, the technique which we are using, it's quite expensive. Next, husband, wife, necessary for being donors? No, it's not compulsion that husband and wife should be the only donor if they are unable to produce what do we say, the gametes. So, of course, you can ask the gametes from the other donors. So, this is a wrong statement. Okay. Next, less adoption for orphans? Yes. If you're going to go for IVF, so the chances of adoption becomes less. So, there will be more amount of orphans. Not available in India? For sure, it is available in India. So it's a wrong one. Possibility that the early embryo does not survive? Yes, possibility. It might be possible that the early embryo might not survive properly. So we have to tick mark the correct one. So B, D, and F is correct one. Let's move on to the next question. What is the name of the blood vessel that carries deoxygenated blood from the body to the heart in a frog? So we all know that who carries the deoxygenated blood? These are the veins. And over here we have the vena cava, which is going to carry the blood from the body organs to the heart for oxygenation. Which of the following statement is referred to reductionist biology? Okay, this is the first introduction page of your unit, Cell, the Unit of Life. And the reduction biology deals about your physico-chemical approach to study and understand living organism. Next, we move on to the two statements given below. Okay, let's read out the statement. First thing, in the RNA world, RNA is considered to be as the first genetic material, right? Evolved to carry out essential life processes such as RNA act as genetic material and also acts as catalyst, right? Some important biochemical reaction in living systems, being reactive and it is chemically unstable. Perfectly correct statement. Statement 2, DNA evolved from RNA is more stable. Yes, DNA is evolved from RNA and it is more stable chemically, okay, and less reactive. It is double helical strand, being complementary, resist changes by evolving, repair mechanism. In the light of the above statement, choose the most appropriate answer. So both the statement when I read, it's completely okay. So both statement 1 and 2 are correct. Next. Epiphytes are growing on mango branch is an example of which of the following? Direct NCERT question. It's the example of your commensalism. Okay, so first will be the option. Next one. From the statement given below, choose the correct option. Let's read out the statement. The eukaryotic ribosome are 80S and prokaryotic ribosome are 70S. Perfectly fine. Okay statement. Each ribosome has two subunits. Yes, one larger and one smaller. The two subunits of ATS are 60 and 40, and while of 70S is 50 and 30. Perfectly right statement. The two subunits of ATS are 50 and 60, or 60 and 20. 20 is wrong. 70 S have 50 and 20. 20 is again wrong. The two subunits of the ATS and are 60S and 30S. 30S is again wrong. And over here also 30S is right, but this part is wrong. So over here, which two statements are correct? Which three statements are correct? A, B, and C. So first option will be our correct one. Hmm. Which of the following is an example of ex situ conservation, that is off-site conservation, that is your zoological park and botanical gardens? Given below are the two statements, and we have to find out the appropriate answer. The first statement is the primary source of the energy of an ecosystem is solar energy. Perfectly right statement. Then we have the rate of production of organic matter during photosynthesis in an ecosystem is called as net primary productivity. No, it is called as what? Gross primary productivity. So this statement is the wrong one over here. Statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect. The third option. Next, we move on to, okay, we have to match the list 1 and 2, and this question belongs to a mixture of human physiology chapters. Emphysema is your breathing disorder. Okay, so damage alveolar walls. A goes with 2. What options? Okay, this is eliminated out. This is eliminated out. Angina pectoris is acute chest pain. B goes with 3. So let's see. B goes with 3. So fourth will be our option. Glomerulonephritis is inflammation of glomeruli, and tetany is your low calcium levels in your blood, due to which muscle contraction is inhibited. Okay, so fourth is the right answer. Next, again, we have to see the assertion reason. The first assertion says both wind and water are pollinated flowers are not very colorful and do not produce nectar. Fair enough, right reason, because they don't require, they are not attracting any insects. So why the flower will be big, colorful, they will have nectar? Nothing is there. Next reason, the flower produce enormous amount of pollen grains in wind and water pollinated flower. That's also a correct statement, but that doesn't justifies the assertion. Okay, so both are correct. Both assertion and reason are correct, but R is not the correct explanation of A. Let's move ahead. Okay, very easy question again, no brainer. Which of the following is an example of non-distilled alcoholic beverage? Non-distilled means whose alcohol content is less. So the answer over here is direct, that is beer. And one more example was there in NCERT, that is wine. Next, given below are the two statements. Again, we have to find out right and wrong. Let's read it out. In a floral formula, this sign stands for zygomorphic. No, it stands for actinomorphic. Okay, and is this standing for inferior ovary? No, this stands for superior ovary. Okay, so the first statement is wrong. Statement 2, in a floral formula, this stands for actinomorphic. Perfectly fine. Nature of the flower, this stands for superior ovary. Perfectly fine. Okay, so statement 1 is incorrect, but statement 2 is correct. Fourth option. Next, streptokinase is produced by the bacteria Streptococcus. It is used for what? It is used for removing the clot busters, like it is going to remove the clot from the blood vessels. Which chromosome in human genome has the highest number of genes? You all know that chromosomes are arranged when you do the karyotyping, the ideogram, the diagrammatic representation, that is ideogram. You represent the chromosome in the decreasing order. So the first one is the largest and the 22 one is the smallest. So the answer is very easy over here. That is chromosome number 1. Okay, not chromosome number 10. It's chromosome number 1. And Y is the smallest chromosome of your body. 107. Which of the following statement is correct about location of male frog copulatory pad? You know, this year frog has, tremendous amount of questions. Let's see. Okay, first, you all know that for what is the feature of sexual dimorphism in frog? How can you distinct male frog and female frog? The first one, male frog has vocal sac, and the second thing, the first digit of the male frog is modified into ambulatory pad or copulatory pad. Okay, so first digit of the forelimb is modified into copulatory pad, or ambulatory pad. So the answer will be fourth one. Next, which of the following phytohormones promotes nutrient mobilization, which helps in the delay of leaf senescence in plant? The answer will be cytokinin. Next. Okay, while trying to find out the characteristic of newly found animal, a researcher did the histology of the adult animal and observed a cavity uh, with presence of mesodermal tissue, okay, towards the body wall, but no mesodermal tissue was observed at the element near to the alimentary canal. That means mesoderm is present in the form of pouches, okay, and that type of mesoderm is the organism is pseudocoelomate. See, spongiocoelomate, nothing. The word is like, no, you never read this word. This is nothing, just a random word. Okay, schizocoelomate are your true coelomates. This cannot be the answer. Acoelomate is without coelom, so this also cannot be answered. So the best answer possible is what? Pseudocoelomate. Next, so this is from human reproduction, the structure of the sperm, and we have to match. Let's see. Head has the genetic material, so A goes with 4. Okay, this goes wrong, this goes wrong. Then middle piece has the energy. Okay, acrosome has the enzymes, so C goes with 1. Okay, C4. This B is going with 3. Middle piece is going with energy. Tail is going with sperm motility. So the answer number 1 is the best answer. Let's go with the next question. Given below are the stages of the life cycle of pteridophytes. Arrange the following stages in the correct sequence. You know, this time you had bryophytes as well as pteridophytes life cycle, both of them. Okay, let's see. You all know that the main plant body of pteridophyte is sporophytic plant body. So how are we going to start? Okay, let's start with meiosis in spore mother cell. Okay, so spore mother cell is 2n. So we are going to start with 2n because the body is uh, diploid, that is sporophytic plant body. Then it will undergo meiosis and will form prothallus, also called as what? Gametophyte. Okay, so after B, we are going to have A. Then fertilization, no. First, you have to do. Okay, yeah, so prothallus, then formation of archegonia and antheridia in the gametophyte. So D. Then you are going to go for fertilization, C. Okay, and then, no, wait. First of all, transfer, yeah. Then you will go for E, and then you are going to go for C. Let's see. Okay, this is the answer. So BADEC. This is the answer for your life cycle of pteridophytes. Next, now this is the question from your body fluids and circulation. Cardiac activities of the heart are regulated by. It is for sure regulated by your nodal tissue, correct? A special neural center, yes, there is a respirate. What do we say? The cardiac center at your medulla oblongata. Then adrenal medullary hormones, yes, adrenaline and non-adrenaline. Cortical hormones do not play any role. So the answer is A, B, and C only. 113. Which of the following organism cannot fix nitrogen? See, prokaryote, 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 prokaryote. This is your green alga, which is your eukaryote. And volvox cannot fix the nitrogen. So the answer is only D. Rest all can fix the nitrogen. Next, 114. Given below again are two statements. Let's read the statement and find out the correct option. Transfer RNA and ribosomal RNA do not interact with mRNA. This is a completely wrong statement. They do interact. Okay. In translation, first you have the mRNA, then smaller subunit, then loaded tRNA with the amino acid, and the larger subunit of the ribosome. So they do interact with the mRNA. RNA interference takes place in all the eukaryotic organism as a method of cellular defense. Perfectly correct statement. So one is right, two is wrong. Statement one is sorry, one is wrong, two is right. Statement one is incorrect, but statement two is correct. Okay. Now we move on to the 115. Let's read the question. They have given us a vector. Over here, we have restriction site and the ORI site. We have restriction site for 3 enzymes, BAMH1, tetracycline, ampicillin, sorry, 2 what do we say, restriction enzyme site, and 2 your antibiotic resistant site, and 1 ORI. So BAMH1, EcoR1, tetracycline, and ampicillin. In the above represents plasmid with alien species of DNA is inserted at EcoR1 site. That means The plasmid has now the insert, that means rDNA. Which of the following strategies will not be chosen to select the recombinant colonies? You all know that beta galactosidase is the enzyme. If it is present, it will convert the substrate to product, and the product will be blue color. And if the product is blue color, that means the plasmid does not have our insert. It's not an rDNA. But if I'm going to get white colonies, that means for sure it has my rDNA, my gene of interest. So it is my rDNA. So which type of colonies are you going to obtain? Of course, you are going to obtain what? White color colonies, not blue color colonies. Next, which of the following genetically engineered organism was used by Eli Lilly to prepare human insulin? That was Escherichia coli, and that is a bacteria. Name the class of enzyme that usually catalyzes the following reaction. Over here, you can easily see the transfer of the group. Now, the S will come over here and the G will be going over there. So, when the transfer of group is taking place, so the enzyme will be transferase. Find the statement that is not correct with regard to the structure of monocot stem. Okay, monocot stem, hypodermis is parenchymatous? No, hypodermis is sclerenchymatous. So the first statement is only wrong one. Then vascular bundles are scattered, correct. Vascular bundles are conjoined and closed. No cambium, yes. Phloem parenchyma is absent, correct. So we have to find out the incorrect one. First is the incorrect one, guys. Now we have the life cycle of bryophytes. Let's see what all events we have in the cycle and let's arrange it. First thing is attachment of the gametophyte to the substratum. So first is your B. Then after attachment, uh, release of fusion of enterozoids in the egg. No, first is E. Then we have B, E, release of enterozoids into the water. When enterozoids are released, then fusion, that is fertilization. Then we have reduction division. Okay, after fertilization, 2N will be formed. So formation of sporophyte, that is D. And then you have C, BEADC. Yeah, second one. Okay, BEAD. BE, sorry. Um, it is BEADC. Yeah, this one, third one, not the second one. First of all, A, and after A, after fusion, you're going to have D. That is formation of sporophyte, which is 2N. And in this sporophyte, now you're going to do what? Meiosis in the spore mother cell. So that's why D will come before. Next, which of the following are correct? Let's see. Computed tomography, that is CT scan, and magnetic resonance imaging technique, that is MRI, detects the cancer of the internal organs. Yes, that's a correct statement. Chemotherapeutics drugs are used to kill non-cancerous cell. No, beta, cancerous cell. This is a wrong statement. Alpha interferon activate the cancer patient immune system and helps in destroying the tumor. That's a right statement. Correct one. Chemotherapeutic drugs are biological response modifier? No, they are the chemical response modifiers. They are wrong. In the case of leukemia, blood cell counts are decreased? No, they are increased. So this is also wrong. So we have A and C. Yeah, fourth one. I hope till here everything is clear to you. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, let's match the following. Centromere, you all know it is used for cell division. So A goes with 2. Let's see, A goes with 2. This cannot be the answer. This cannot be the answer. Cilium helps in motility. Let's see, cell movement. So we go, B goes with B goes with 3. Okay. Cristae is the inner membrane enfoldings of mitochondria. Cell membrane is phospholipid bilayer. So we go with, yeah, C goes with 1. Yeah. So the answer is fourth one. 122. Chlorophyll, we have to match the pigments with the respective color. Even if you know one for B, that is yellow green, the answer is sorted to you. Okay. So chlorophyll A is going to give you blue green color. Chlorophyll B gives you yellow green color. So B goes with 1 is only in one option. That is option number 2. C goes with yellow. Okay. Sorry. Xanthophylls goes with Yellow, xanthophylls is going with yellow, carotenoids, yellow to orangish in color. So the answer is second. Find the correct statement again. Comparatively, a very lengthy question. We have to read it and then we have to answer it. Okay. In human pregnancy, the major organs are formed at the end of 12th week. That's a correct statement. 8th week becomes wrong then. In human pregnancy, heart is formed after 1 month of gestation. Okay, so that's a correct statement. Then in human pregnancy, limbs and digits are developed by the end of second month. That is also a correct statement. So A, C, D. A, C, D, and E. E is also correct one. So the answer will be A, C, D, and E. In the seeds of cereals, the outer covering of the endosperm that separates the embryo by a protein-rich layer. The protein-rich layer is aleurone layer. The ploidy is 3N. Next, over here, it's the direct NCERT diagram. Let's see. We have to see which of the following diagram is correct with respect to proximal and distal tubule of nephron. Over here, you do not have H2O. This is wrong. This is also not right. This is right. Over here, you don't have NaCl. Over here, you don't. Yeah, so second one is the right answer. It's the direct diagram of your NCERT. Okay, next. Identify the part of the bioreactor which is used as a foam breaker from the given figure. It is C. C is called as what? Foam breaker. Direct diagram of NCERT. So C, yeah, fourth option. 127, let's go with the assertion reason. A typical unfertilized angiosperm embryo sac at maturity is 7-celled 8-nucleate or A-nucleate 7-celled. Perfectly okay statement. Reason, the egg apparatus has two polar nuclei. No. Embryo sac has two polar nuclei. Egg apparatus is having one egg cell and two synergids. So assertion is right, but reason is completely false. A specialized membranous structure in prokaryotic cell which helps in cell wall formation, DNA replication, and respiration, that is mesosomes, which is just like mitochondria of eukaryotic cell. Which of the following are the post-transcriptional events in an eukaryotic cell? Let's see that. Transport of pre-mRNA to cytoplasm? No. Transfer of the stable mRNA to the cytoplasm. So this is wrong. Removal of introns and joining of exons? Okay. Addition of methyl group at the 5' end? Yes. Addition of adenine residues at 3' end? Yes. Base pairing of two complementary RNAs? No. So answer is B, C, and D. Yes, the second one. Any doubts, anyone? I hope everything is clear till now. Let's go on to the 130th one. What is the pattern of inheritance of polygenic trait? It's a non-Mendelian inheritance. Very direct question. So the answer will be non-Mendelian inheritance. What is the following? Which of the following enzyme contains heme as a prosthetic group? That is your catalase enzyme. Which of the following characteristics represents a kingdom proposed by R.H. Whittaker? Arrange the following in increasing order of complexity. Let's find out what is what organism. Let's see that. Multicellular heterotrophs with cell wall made up of chitin. This is your fungi. Then heterotrophs with tissue organ system level of organization. That's for sure that's an animal cell. Then prokaryotes with cell wall made up of polysaccharides. That is your Monera, the prokaryotes. Okay. Next, eukaryotic autotroph with tissue organ level of organization. Autotrophs means we are talking about plantae. They are plants. Eukaryotes with cellular body organization. This is Protista, unicellular eukaryotes. So we have Monera, that is C, E, C, E. Okay, then we go for fungi, C, E, A. Okay, then we have plantae. Plantae is D. And then we have, okay, so C is your Monera, okay. E is your Protista, E is your Protista, okay. A is your fungi, Monera, Protista, fungi, and Plantae, Animalia. D is your Plantae, and this is your Animalia. Yes, second one is the right answer. Okay. Next one, because we have to arrange them in increasing order of body complexity. Next, who is known as the father of ecology in India? That is Ramdev Mishra. Again, very direct question. Match list A1 with list 2. Let's match it. Alfred Hershey and Martha Chase. They told us that DNA is the genetic material. A goes with 4. Okay, next, euchromatin is loosely packed. Okay, so loosely packed and lightly stained. So B goes with 3. A goes with 4. B goes with 3. Then Frederick Griffith transformation experiment, Streptococcus pneumoniae, C goes with 1. Heterochromatin densely packed, D goes with 2. So the answer will be the third one. Neoplastic is the another name for cancer cell. Neoplastic is characteristic feature of the cells. Characteristics of the cells refer to a mass of proliferating cells, okay. Rapid growth of cells, yes. Invasion and damage to the surrounding cell, yes. Those are confined to original location, no, they are not confined. Okay, so A, B, C. Now we go on to 136, statement 1 and statement 2. The DNA fragments extracted from gel electrophoresis can be used in construction of recombinant DNA. Correct statement. Smaller size of the DNA fragments are observed near the anode. Yes, because DNA being negatively charged stays towards and runs towards anode, and the electrophoresis starts from cathode. Okay, so larger one will be near the cathode or near to the wells, and the smaller one will be moving to the anode that is positively charged. So cathode size, smaller size DNA fragments are observed near anode, yes, while larger fragments are found near the wells, yes. So both statements are perfectly fine, correct statement. Okay, let's match list 1 and list 2. Adenosine is your nucleoside. Okay, so A is with 3. Okay, adenalic acid is a nucleotide. So B goes with 2. B goes with 2. Adenine is a nitrogenous base. C goes with 1. And alanine is amino acid. D goes with 4. This is the answer. Okay, 138. Okay, let's read the statement and we have to mark the correct one. The reductive division of the human female gametogenesis starts earlier than that of male gametogenesis. Yes, it starts whenever the female is inside the mother's body. The gap between the first meiotic division and the second meiotic division is much shorter for males as compared to females. Yes, the gap between the first meiotic division and the second meiotic division is much shorter for males. Yes, that's a correct statement. Next, the first polar body is associated with primary oocyte. No, it's not associated with primary oocyte. Luteinizing hormone surge leads to disintegration of endometrial and onset of menstrual bleeding. No, luteinizing hormone is responsible for ovulation, rupturing of the Graafian follicle. So only one and A and B are true. Next, all living membranes, all living members of the cyclostomata are they are ectoparasites. Ectoparasites. Given below are the two statement and assertion and reason, and we have to find out the right answer. Assertion says the primary function of the Golgi apparatus is to pack the material. Yes, for sure, it packs the material, modifies them, and the material is given to the Golgi by ER. So, primary function of the Golgi body is to pack the materials made by the endoplasmic reticulum and delivered it to intracellular targets and outside the cell. Perfectly fine. Vesicles containing materials made by the endoplasmic reticulum fuse with the cis phase of the Golgi, yes, the forming phase, and they are modified and released from the trans phase of the Golgi apparatus, yes, the maturing phase. So A and R both are correct, and R is the correct explanation. So we go with 1. Next, let's match list 1 with list 2. Scutellum, what is scutellum? The embryo. Okay, so or the cotyledon. Then we have non-albuminous seed. Non-albuminous seed is your like no endosperm is there. Okay, endosperm is absent, so it will be groundnut. Groundnut, it's a dicot, so it's a non-endospermic seed. Okay, so B goes with 3. Okay, A goes with cotyledon of monocot. Yes. Okay, then epiblast is the reduced embryo. So rudimentary or reduced cotyledon, rudimentary cotyledon. Perisperm is persistent nucleus. Nucellus, sorry. So D goes with 1. Non-albuminous seed is your groundnut. Okay. A is going with 2 and C goes with fourth. Yeah. So first one is the right answer. Next, given below are the two statement again, assertion and reason, and we have to find out which one is the correct option. All vertebrates are chordates, but all chordates are not vertebrate. That is a true statement. Perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with that statement. Now let's read the reason. The members of subphylum of vertebrata possesses notochord during the embryonic period, right? The notochord is replaced by a cartilaginous or a bony vertebral column. Yes. Okay, so reason is also right, assertion is also right, and it's a correct explanation. So we go with 1. Identify each statement that is not correct. Okay, each antibody has two, light chain and heavy chain. Yes, H2L2, correct one. The heavy and the light chains are held together by disulfide bond. Yes, that's a right one. Antigen binding site is located towards C terminal. No, it's located toward N terminal. If you know the diagram of NCERT properly, you can easily do this question. Constant region of heavy and light chains are located at C terminus. That's a correct statement. So our wrong one is third. So the answer will be third one. Silencing of specific mRNA, that is RNAi technique for gene silencing, is possible via RNAi because of formation of double-stranded RNA in your body, which will activate your defense mechanism. So answer is double-stranded RNA, dsRNA. Genes R and Y follow independent assortment. Okay. If RRYY produces round yellow seeds and small y produces wrinkled and green seeds, what will be the phenotypic ratio of the F2 generation? The phenotypic ratio is 9 is to 3 is to 3 is to 1. Histones are enriched with, histones are basic proteins, positively charged proteins. They are enriched in lysine and arginine. Direct answer. The first mensuration is called as what? Menarche. Let's match the list. Heart, atrial natriuretic factor, that is A goes with 3. Only one option is there. Kidney is going to give you erythropoietin, 1. Gastrointestinal tract will give you secretin, that is C goes with 4. Adrenal cortex will give you aldosterone, D goes with 2. Perfect. Fourth is the right answer. The protein portion of the enzyme is called as what? Enzyme contains protein as well as non-protein part. So the protein part is called as what? Apoenzyme. Which of the following is the unit of productivity of an ecosystem? Now, even if you don't know the unit, productivity is always going to include, time period. And only one unit has a time period over here. That is the fourth option. So it is kilocalorie meter in square inverse and year per unit, like per unit year, like 1 year mein how much is the productivity per year. So the answer will be the fourth one. Sweet potato and potato. Sweet potato is your root modification. Okay, and potato is your underground stem modification. Okay, so that means the origin is different. One is root, another one is stem. But they are performing the same function, that is storage of food. So that means they are telling you about the analogy, and analogy gives you what? Convergent evolution. Okay, first option. Okay, let's solve the pedigree. Over here, they are asking about the F3 generation. They are asking about the combination. Okay. With the help of the given pedigree, find out the probability for the birth of a child having no disease and being a carrier has the disease mutation in one allele of the gene. Okay, so we have to find out the carrier. Who can be the carrier? Okay, so when we see mother was a carrier, suppose, because now carrier thing can be only possible in sex linked disease. So if mother is a carrier, suppose we take the disease as color blindness, mother is a carrier and father is affected. Okay, mother is a carrier and father is affected. Okay, So we have to tell that for the birth of the child having no disease and being a carrier. Okay. XCX, XCY, XCXC, CX, XCY, XY. Normal male, affected male. This is like affected male. This is normal. We don't have to talk about normal. Okay, so this is wrong. We have to talk about carrier is only one possible. So out of the four, one female is completely colorblind. So yeah, 1/4 is the answer. Four offsprings are possible. So your carrier will be only one, that is 1/4. Okay, so the answer, the pedigree is very simple. 152 done. Now we come on to the 153. Okay, let's see 153 question. Cells of tapetum possesses dense cytoplasm, generally have more than one nucleus. Assertion is fine. Okay, let's go with the reason now. Presence of more than one nucleus in the tapetum increases the efficiency of nourishing the developing microspore mother cell. Reason is wrong, okay, and it's particularly a very debatable question as well. It actually nourishes the pollen grains, not the microspore mother cell. So it should be over here, it should be pollen grains, because in NCERT they have written pollen grains, okay. So reason, according to the wordings written in NCERT, it seems to be wrong. So assertion is true, but reason is false, okay. Like very minor change, okay. Instead of microspore mother cell, it should be it should be pollen grains, developing pollen grains. 154. How many meiotic and mitotic division need to be occur for the development of the mature female gametophyte from the megaspore mother cell in angiospermic plant? Okay, so you all know that this is the megaspore mother cell. The ploidy is 2n. Okay, when it undergoes meiosis, okay, it will form what? Four megaspores, and this is your functional megaspore. One remains functional, rest all gets degenerated. This is your functional megaspore. Now this will undergo three mitotic division. First mitosis will give you two cell, then second mitosis will give you four, then third mitosis will give you how much, beta? 8. Okay, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So how many mitoses you require? You require 3 mitoses and 1 meiosis. So 1 meiosis and 3 mitoses to get the 8 nucleate stage. Then they are going to rearrange. 3 will be antipodals, 1 will be X cell, 2 will be synergids, and rest 2 are the polar nuclei. Next, so you understood this. Next one. Which of the following is an example of zygomorphic flower? Zygomorphic flower is present in Fabaceae family, and P is the member of Fabaceae. Next, 156. After maturation in primary lymphoid organs, the lymphocytes migrate for the interaction with antigen to secondary lymphoid organ. Okay, so we have to mark the secondary lymphoid organ over here. Leaf, thymus, and bone marrow. These all are your primary lymphoid organ. So this cannot be the option. Spleen is a secondary lymphoid organ. Pear patches is a secondary lymphoid organ. Lymph node is also the secondary lymphoid organ. So C, D, and E. Answer is the fourth one. 157. Fig fruit is non-vegetarian fruit. So as it has enclosed fig wasp in it. That's a wrong statement actually. Fig fruit is a vegetarian food because after the development of the fig, there are certain enzymes which kill all the insects inside. So that's a wrong statement. Okay. Fig wasp and fig tree exhibit mutual relationship as fig wap completes its life cycle in fig fruit and fig fruit gets pollinated. But it's not fig fruit, it's fig inflorescence. Okay, it's not fig fruit, it is ficca, flower or inflorescence. Okay, so this word is right wrong over here. So both statements are wrong. This is also wrong, this is also wrong. Both 1 and 2 statements are incorrect. Next, 158. What is the main function of these spindle fibers during mitosis? To separate the chromosomes. First option. Which of one of the following is a characteristic feature of gymnosperm? The characteristic feature is that the seeds are naked, not enclosed by ovary. So that's why gymnosperms can only form seeds and never the fruits. Consider the following statement regarding the function of adrenal medullary hormones. It causes pupil dilation, not constriction. It is going to give you increase the sugar level in your blood. Yes, emergency hormone. It is going to cause piloerection, that is goosebumps. Yes. It increases the strength of heart contraction. Yes, heartbeat increases. Therefore, your breathing rate will also increase. Breathing rate increase, heart rate increase. So answer will be B, C, D. Next, why can't insulin be given orally to the diabetic patient? Because insulin is a proteinaceous hormone. If you are going to give it directly via the alimentary canal, gastrointestinal tract, it will get digested in the stomach. Okay, due to the action of pepsin. So it will be digested in gastrointestinal tract due to the action of protein digesting enzyme. 162. Let's match the following. Pteridophyta is Salvinia. Bryophyta is Polytrichum. A is 4. B is 3. Then angiosperm. C is 1. C is 1. Yeah, so this one. A is 4th. A is 4th Salvinia. B is 3. B is 3 Polytrichum. C is 1. That is Salvia. And D is 2 Ginkgo biloba. Yes. Clear? Who proposed that the genetic code for amino acid should be made up of 3 nucleotides? That means genetic code is triplet. That was George Gamow. Next one. Match list A, list I to list 1 to list 2. The evil quartet is one of the cause of the biodiversity loss. XC2 conservation is your cryopreservation. So A with 3, B with 1. C, lantana is with alien species invasion. 2 and D goes dodo is for extinction. Yes, so second option is the right one. Which of the following hormones released from the pituitary is actually synthesized in the hypothalamus? There are two hormones which are synthesized in the hypothalamus and released by posterior pituitary. One is antidiuretic hormone, second one is oxytocin. So over here we have the option of ADH. Next, role of water vascular system in echinodermata. Respiration, locomotion, anchorage and defense, capture and transport of food, and excretion also. But let's find out the best option possible. Respiration, locomotion, yes. Capture and transport of food, yes. But now over here, digestion is not there. Okay, so this eliminates out, and we don't have any option which goes A, B, and C. No option is there. So we are going to go with A and C. That is the best option possible right now. Okay, so we have to choose the best then. Next, which of the following type of immunity is present at the time of birth and it is non-specific type of defense in the human body? That is your innate immunity which is present by birth in human body. In bryophytes, the gemma helps in which of the following? The gemma helps in asexual reproduction. In frog, the renal portal system is a special link venous connection that acts as a link between kidney and lower part of the body. Renal means kidney. So liver cannot be possible. Kidney and intestine, no. Kidney and lower part of the body. Given below are two statements. Let's see the two statements. In the ecosystem, there is a unidirectional flow of energy from sun to energy of sun from producers to consumer. Correct one. Ecosystems are exempted from the second law of thermodynamics. That's a wrong one. Okay, they are not exempted from the second law of thermodynamics. So statement 1 is correct and statement 2 is incorrect. Next, which of the following statement is true about Rubisco? Rubisco is having active site only, is active only in dark? No. It has high affinity for oxygen rather than carbon dioxide. No, it has more affinity for CO2, although it can, combine with oxygen also. But if, like, overall, if we talk about affinity, it has more affinity with CO2. It is an enzyme which is involved in the photolysis of water. No, wrong statement. It catalyze, yes, it catalyze the first step, that is carboxylation of RUBP. Right one. Which of the following enzymes are not essential for gene cloning? There is no role of DNA mutase, there is no role of DNA recombinase. So answer will be A, B, and E. But we don't have A, B, E, so we go with A and B. That is restriction enzyme and DNA ligase. Read the following statement on plant growth and development, and then we have to find out the correct statement. Parthenocarpy can be induced with auxin. Right statement. Plant growth regulators can be involved in promotion as well as inhibition of growth. Yes. Right one. De-differentiation is a prerequisite for re-differentiation. Yes, that's also a correct one. Then abscisic acid is a plant growth promoter. No, it's an inhibitor. So this is a wrong one. Apical dominance it is promoted by the growth of lateral bud. No, apical dominance is inhibited is inhibiting the growth of lateral bud. So this is also wrong. So the answer is A, B, and C. The first one. 174. Which of the following factor for terminate is used for the termination of transcription? That is your rho factor. Sigma is for the starting identification of the promoter site, and rho is for the termination. Frog respire in water by skin and buccal cavity. No, only via skin. Buccal cavity has no use in water. And on land by skin, buccal cavity, and lungs. Correct. So the statement is true for water. No, the statement is false for water but true for land. Third one. It is false for water because in water only skin respiration is taking place, cutaneous respiration is taking place. So the statement is false for water but true for land. Twins are born in a family that lives next door to you. The twins are boy and a girl. That means they are non identical twins. That means they are fraternal twins. Because monozygotic twins will be always two boys or two girls. Next, which of the following microbe is not involved in the preparation of household products? It is Aspergillus niger is not involved, Lactobacillus is involved, Trichoderma polysporum is not involved, Saccharomyces cerevisiae is involved, Propione shermani bacteria is also involved. So the answer is A, not involved, and Trichoderma polysporum not involved. A and C. 178. Let's match the hormones. Progesterone is given to you by corpus luteum. A goes with 4. 4, 4. This is eliminated out. Relaxin is secreted by ovary. So B goes with 2. 2. Okay. Melanocyte stimulating hormone coming from pars intermedia. C with 1. Okay. So this is wrong. And catecholamines is your adrenal medulla. D goes with 3. So first is the right one. 179. Okay. Same question in biotechnology. We have already done blue and white colonies. Okay, let's see. The blue and white selectable markers being developed, which differentiates recombinant colonies from non-recombinant colonies on the basis of their ability to produce color in the presence of chromogenic substance. Okay. Given below are two statements about this method. Statement 1, the blue color colonies have DNA insert. No, no, no. If you have the DNA insert, then the colonies will be white, not blue. So the blue color, it should be white. The white color colonies have DNA insert in the plasmid and they identified as recombinant colonies. That's a wrong statement. It should be white, okay? Because they have given blue over here. Next, the colonies without blue color, that means white colonies, have DNA insert in the plasmid and are identified as recombinant colonies. Right statement. So, statement 1 is incorrect, but statement 2 is correct. The fourth answer is the right one. Statement 1 is incorrect while statement 2 is correct. Let's move on to the last one. Which of the following equation represents the Wellhorst-Pearl logistic growth population curve? That is very easy. dn by dt Rn bracket k minus n upon k, carrying capacity. So the answer is 2 for this. Okay, so this completes our biology paper discussion for NEET 2025. Thank you, all of you. Wish you luck from my side.